yes, in fintech sector, that is financial technology, and decided to make it his goal to build the idea into a startup for the Indian market. Hence, he came back to India right after pursuing the course and is currently developing the platform while also continuing his CA profession. I felt he is the right person to enlighten all our young students and motivate them towards entrepreneurship, because in India, as of now, entrepreneurship is not in much vogue. Many people have negative opinion and negative attitude towards business as such and entrepreneurship. So we need to enlighten and motivate. Initially mentioned, this country needs more entrepreneurs, more job providers to focus on creating wealth and generating jobs. So I am very much delighted to welcome you, Teja. Over to you.
Thank you, Aunty.
Yeah,
Thank you.
please.
Hi guys, Uday, as you all know, I'm a chartered accountant and I'm currently developing my startup. So I'm located in Tirupati right now. It's really nice to see some college from areas like us actually not posting just for the entrance examinations or the board examinations, but getting these courses and developing the holistic environment for children. It's really nice. We did not have these in our times when we were studying 10 years, 15 years ago. It's really nice that your management is doing this for you. But anyways, so let's going back to the topic. Can I share my screen? Can I share my slides?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Screen? Yeah. Okay. So today I'll be talking about briefly about what an entrepreneur looks like, what he should be doing, he or she should be doing, and how to actually build a startup from getting an idea and moving on to the product stage. What are the different phases involved? What things being an employee has got nothing to do with risks or any kind of external pressures apart from the pressure from the top management. But being an entrepreneur, you need to know about a lot of things. An entrepreneur can not only be a big multinational company founder, he can be as small as a small shop owner to a startup founder, to anybody who's running their own business. On a day-to-day basis, you have to think about getting an idea and motivating your team, getting your team to do the right thing, managing the product, getting the product out, managing finances, managing government, taxes, risks, environment. So many things you have to do on a day-to-day basis for being an entrepreneur. Whereas if you're an employee, you don't have all these headaches. So please consider, is it worth the reward? Is it worth the effort before getting into entrepreneurship? There's no written path for being an entrepreneur. There's no written book how to become an entrepreneur. It's all about making choices and setting those choices right. First, you make a choice and then you make your choice right. There's no real clear written rule for how to be a successful entrepreneur. I'll tell you, let's start with a small example. Say you're very good at making a good coffee. You're working in a coffee shop. People love your coffee. People come to, okay, I'll become an entrepreneur. I'll set up my own coffee shop. Let me just borrow some money. I'll set up one and I'll run the coffee shop excellently. What you do, you borrow some money, open a coffee shop, and then you put everything. You put the machinery, you put the furniture, everything, and then you start running the coffee shop. What happens? Customers keep coming, and what are you focused on? Receiving the customers, or taking the orders from the customers, or billing, or cleaning the tables, or what are you focused on? So this is where the entrepreneurial mindset comes in. Do you want to? What is your passion? What is your purpose? Do you want to make coffees, or do you want to run a coffee shop? That's where the distinction lies. So it's all about working on the business and not in the business. You should keep working with a bird's eye view. I'll come back to that later. So how to actually become a successful entrepreneur is turnkey businesses. What is a turnkey business? So మీరు అలా కీ ఇస్తే ఆ బిజినెస్ తిరుగుతూ ఉండాలి, ఆ మెషిన్ తిరుగుతూ ఉండాలి. You don't have to always do the coffee making thing. So you have to do that. You have to make your business a turnkey business. How do you do that in this coffee shop example? Write a recipe. Even if nobody is there, anybody who is untrained can come, read that recipe, and make exactly the same coffee, the one which you do. Set Train your other staff to receive customers, train your staff to do the billing, to clean the tables. Everything is meticulously planned. So you have coffee day in Chittor. All of you would have been seeing coffee day outside Chittor. A coffee day is also not even be worth 1 lakh rupees. What is the difference? They're both serving the same coffee, but that's where coffee day made it a turnkey business. There are more than 1,000 outlets all across India. It's the same coffee everywhere. It's the same interiors, same furniture, same equipment. Everything is the same. So this is where entrepreneurial mindset comes in. Creating a repeatable and scalable business model. Your businesses should be repeatable 1,000 times, and nothing should change. It's just that you just get a new place and you get it done. But a normal coffee shop owner on the road can't do this repeatable, scalable business model, because he's the one who does coffee, he's the one who does sales, he's the one who does customer talking, everything. So always make your business scalable and repeatable. That is rule 101. Your business should look like this. You should work on the business and not in the business. That is the fundamental rule of being an entrepreneur. Once you start, so you can apply this to a software company. So imagine all of you guys are doing BTech, and then you excel in becoming a software engineer. You want to become a software engineer, and after 2-3 years, you guys become so great at coding. And then what do? One day you decide, oh, I'm so good at coding. Let me just write a program and create an app or create a website or build a software solution. But do you think, is that all that's needed to make that product a successful business? Just because you know how to code well? No, that's not it. So there are a million coders, but what is going to make your business effective? You need to get customers, you need to do sales, you need to get finances, you need to manage your team. You can't do coding every single day. If you are doing coding every single day, who is going to get the customers for you? Who is going to market your product? Where are you going to base your office? What is the branding you're going to do? So that's where the difference between a small businessman, an employee, and an entrepreneur comes in. So what does an usual entrepreneur be like? He has to be a CEO who gets this vision, who gets an idea. Okay, I have to go here. My product should be there. My business should be there. And then he arranges all these resources. And then the CEO, Chief Operating Officer, who actually does the work, at least in the initial stages, until you actually form a team, who does it for you in the later stages. So in the initial stages, you have to be both your CEO and your COO. Otherwise, it's really tough to scale your product or know your product very well. So you have to be an entrepreneur, you have to be a manager, you have to be a technician to actually make your startup really successful. So moving on to building a startup, what are the 3 fundamental things before you build a startup? Ask these 3 questions to yourself. Why this idea? Why are you focused on building this idea into a product? And why now? Why at this moment? Why not in the future? Or why not in the past? Why didn't you do this in the past? Or why don't you want to do it in the future? And then why do you think only you can do it, or only your team can do it? What is your advantage? What is your USP that only you can be able to do it? Why not someone else can copy your thing? Or why not someone else has already started doing it? Why don't you think that way? Once you have solid answers to these questions, then I would suggest you move ahead to the next stages, where you plan your startup. The startup, the stages usually start like this. You build an idea, you get an idea, you form an idea, and then you see what problem you're trying to solve and how do you solve it. Startups are always about solving problems which are actually migrant level problems. So, what is the problem you're trying to solve, and what is the solution for it? Is the solution a right choice for that problem? Is it actually doing the job, or you're just trying to build a solution for an imaginary problem? So that's where startups fail most of the time. And then do your customer discovery. So find your customers. Who is your target customer segment? It can be anywhere from, okay, I'm going to build a protein drink. So protein drink, who wants a protein drink? People who go to gym. Who goes to gym? Everybody goes to gym nowadays, but which exact segment are you targeting? Are you targeting age groups of 18 to 21, or 21 to 25, or old aged people who are actually weak and they're trying to get some strength into their body? So people above 40. uh, so you do customer discovery first before actually building your product. Find your customers, talk to them, get to know what they want, and then start building. And then your business model. Your business model is predominantly how much it's going to cost you for setting that business, and how much money you're going to get. What is your income? What is your sources of income from this business? You get this and see if it's actually profitable on paper. At least it should be profitable on paper, at least, if you make realistic assumptions. If it's not, if it's loss making, then there's no point of even starting that business. You can kill it right away in the ideation stage. And then look at your competition. Are there anyone doing the same product? Are there anyone in the same field? Competition analysis is one primary thing when you're looking for a startup, because there's no such thing as this is the only unique idea. I'm the only one in India. I'm the only one in the world who does this. There's no such thing. Everything has a competition. It can be direct competition or indirect competition. If you're saying to anybody that my idea is very unique, nobody has this idea, this is the first time somebody is doing like this, then you're a fool.
I'm
Definitely people will
sorry to
call you a
interrupt
fool.
you, Teja.
Yeah.
Could you please be a little bit more allowed?
Loud?
Like,
Okay, I'll try.
yeah, a bit
Is it
more
fine now?
allowed. Yeah,
Is it okay now?
yeah, a bit more loud so that voice clarity will be there.
1 second. I'll just give me a second. Is it loud now?
Yeah, it's loud enough.
Yeah, yeah. So always look at your competition. Uh, don't don't think that there won't be anybody who is doing this. There would be somebody who is actually solving that problem, but it may not be as similar to your product, very similar to your product. It can be in an indirect way also. So always look at your competition, and then form your team. Nothing can be done alone. You have to form a team. Even when you're in the ideation stages, and if you want funding, people would invest in your team, not in your idea, because you don't know, ideas can still be on paper, they might not be worth anything. But if people are looking at a good team can be anywhere, anybody from your friends to family or to anybody. You may find them somewhere in a random meeting, but team is the primary thing when it comes to a startup. And then get your funding. I'll discuss more about funding in the later stages. So, and then you launch your product. So this is the broad stages in developing a startup. So let's go to the ideation stage. So how do you get an idea to build a startup? If you have an idea, well and good. But if you don't have an idea, but you actually want to become an entrepreneur, what do you do? How do you get an idea? You don't know anything about the new products or new opportunities, but how do you get an idea? There's this principle called effectuation principle, which is being used across the world. It's very simple. So they talk about four principles in effectuation. It's called bird in the hand principle. So look at what you have in your hand already. Who are you? What is your you know uh, ability? What are you good at? Are you good at academics? Are you good at sports? Are you good at any arts? What are you good at?
What do you know? What is your education? What has been your training? You guys are really lucky to have all such training sessions. So you would have already got a lot of knowledge, experience. Whom do you know? Friends, family, your local connections in your place, around your surroundings, in your school, in your college, wherever you go. Whom do you know? Someone who has a link to some opportunity. Just learn to use what you already have in your hand. There would be an opportunity. And the second principle is setting affordable laws. This is the biggest principle which entrepreneurs need to look at. You know, uh, entrepreneurs, startup founders, they try to give up everything to just pursue their idea. They would have had a comfortable job. They would have had so many comfort zones, but they give up everything to just start this idea. But what is the downside? How much are you prepared to lose in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of effort? How much can you afford to lose? Always have that risk reward management. And if the world gives you lemons, make a lemonade. This is a very basic principle, but I'll tell you again. So uh, say you have a lemon tree in your house, and there are lemon trees in your neighbor's houses also. All of them are getting the same number of lemons from the tree. Your neighbors, they just pluck those lemons and they sell it in the open market, and they're getting what, 5 rupees per lemon. But what you being an entrepreneur, what are you going to do with those lemons differently? You make a lemonade and sell it for 50 rupees with each lemon. That's where your entrepreneurial mindset comes in. So use your opportunities and do things differently to generate more value, Form partnerships. Nothing can be done alone. If you want to grow, always form partnerships. You need different skill sets. You need new ideas. You're not there's a point to every human being where you get stuck up with your existing knowledge. There's a saturation limit. You can't go beyond that. So to break those saturation limits, you always need to form partnerships with where they push you or bring you new talent and give you new skills, give you new energy, open new markets. Anything can happen. So always look for partnerships. That's when you can grow into a successful business. And then coming to the next thing after idea. So once you form an idea, so you decided this is the problem I want to solve. So how do you move about it? Is your problem a migraine problem? Is it really causing people that big of a headache? Just think about it. All the big startups, all the successful startups have always solved a migraine problem. I'm not saying not there are so many other startups which are not even solving a problem, but they might be just giving luxury or an add-on, but that's okay. But if you want to grow really big in really short time, find a migraine problem. It can be as easy as you would be coming to your school and you would always see there are a lot of potholes which are not being fixed by the government. So what can be done, cheap effective way to fill these and sustainably. Look for any waste management. So these are the problems that are bothering you personally. So always think for problems which have been bothering you from a really long time, which could have been done but not have been done by anybody. Think of such problems and try to solve those problems. Most of the startups, this is a very good line from Silicon Valley. It's been told by Ash Maurya. He's an Indian, but he's a very famous startup guru in Silicon Valley. So it says many startups fail not because they fail to build what they set out to build, but because they waste time, money, and effort building the wrong product. Wrong product is always, a product can never be wrong, but it's just catering the wrong people. So the lesson number one for startup founders is always focus on customers, not on product. Always focus on customer, not on product. Get your customers right, the product will automatically fall in place. If you get a product, please get this by heart. If you're trying to build a product, the biggest mistake when there are almost 85% of startups, they fail because they're so obsessed with getting the product right. They don't think about customer till the product is launched. They're like, let this be a perfect product. Once I launch it, then I'll think about customers, getting customers. But that's not how a startup should actually work. Get your customer first, build your product around the customer, build your minimum product, and then people will automatically fall in place. So read this. Startups are about finding customers and not building products. That's number one, definition number one. The definition number two is people don't buy products or services. They buy solutions to their problems. So you're buying a phone. You're asking your dad or mom to get you a phone. Why? Because you want to attend Zoom seminars for your online classes. You could have had a normal bar phone, but you wanted a smartphone so that you wanted to solve this problem of not able to attend these online classes. So that's why you got a smartphone or a tablet. So that is so it's not a product. It is a solution. The smartphone is a solution to your problem. Entrepreneurs are not are detectives, not fortune tellers. So we as entrepreneurs, we always try to find what are the problems around, think about solutions for it. We are not Alibaba, we don't give you lucks and wishes. So the first question when you're trying to build this problem solution fit, you should not be asking yourself. The wrong question is, can this product be built? No, that is not the question you should ask. Should this product be built? That is the question you should be asking yourself. Actually, should we build this product at all? Is it really solving any problem to any person at all? That is the question you should ask when you're trying to build a startup. If we are able to build this product, if this.
Yeah. In another few minutes, we may get disconnected. Please rejoin, all of you, again. I think he got disconnected. But then why? Then why did he stop?
Sorry.
Yeah, Teja, like in a few minutes, we may get disconnected. Please rejoin. All the students are requested to rejoin again. Yeah, please go ahead, Teja.
Okay.
Keep continuing. When we get disconnected, try to rejoin, please.
Sure.
Yeah. Mind?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, good. Sorry for the interruption, and happy to see you back. Please go ahead with the session.
Yeah. So once you once you know this is the right solution for the right problem, then you look for your customers. So how do you, when we were in a master's, I'll tell you my personal example. We had a subject just for customer discovery. We used to, the subject was all about, we should go into the market, find customers, talk to them, ask them what the problem is, and then should we see if the problem is really a big problem for them. How are they actually solving it now? అసలు వాళ్ళకి ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తున్నారు ఆ ప్రాబ్లమ్ సాల్వ్ చేయడానికి, ఇవి నిజంగా ఉన్నాయా, చేయాలా అనేవి. ఇట్ వాజ్ అ సబ్జెక్ట్ ఫర్ us. సో ఆల్వేస్ డూ యువర్ కస్టమర్ డిస్కవరీ, సీ ఇఫ్ ఇట్స్ సాల్వబుల్, అసలు సాల్వ్ చేయాల్సిన ప్రాబ్లమా లేకపోతే వదిలేయాల్సిన ప్రాబ్లమా అనేది we should see. I'll play a small video for you how to actually talk to customers when you're validating your idea. It's a small video.
We're told, don't...
Sorry.
We're told, don't ask your mum if your business idea is a good one. She'll just say yes, because she loves you, of course. The mum test is a set of simple rules for crafting good questions that even your mum can't lie to you about. Let's have 2 conversations and see what we can learn. Mum, I've got a business idea. Can I tell you about it? Of course, dear. You like your iPad, right? Do you use it a lot? Yes. Okay. So would you ever buy an app which was like a cookbook for your iPad? And it only cost £20. That's cheaper than your hardbacks on the shelf. Well, and you can share recipes with your friends. And there's an iPhone app which is your shopping list. And videos of that celebrity chef you love. Yes, dear. That sounds amazing. £20 is fine. Will it have pictures of the recipes? Yes, definitely. Thanks, Mum. I'm going to quit my job and put all my savings into my new startup. Won't you have some lasagna? That conversation led us down the garden path. The mum test is about talking to your customers about their life, not your idea. It's about discussing specifics in the past instead of generics or opinions about the future. It's about talking less and listening more. Let's do it again right this time. Hey, Mum, how's the new iPad? Oh, I love it. I use it every day. What do you usually do on it? Oh, you know, read the news, play Sudoku, catch up with my friends. What's the last thing you did on it? My Dad and I are off on holiday. I was looking where to stay. Did you use an app for that? No, I just used Google. What app should I use? How did you find out about the other apps you have? The Sunday paper has a section on the apps of the week. Makes sense. By the way, I saw a couple of new cookbooks on the shelf. Where did those come from? Oh, they're one of those things you just end up getting at Christmas. I think Doreen gave me that one. Haven't even opened it. As if I need another lasagna recipe at my age. Time to refine my idea. We discovered...
Yeah. So this is how you should talk to customers. You don't go ask them, do you like my idea? How do you feel about this idea? Do you think you can pay 50 rupees for this app? Do you think you can pay 500 rupees for this product? You should not be asking such leading questions. Your question should not be where the answers are a yes or a no. The question should be like, they have to describe their problem. So it's like, all these are bad questions. Do you think it's a good idea? Would you buy a product like this? How much would you pay for it? These are very bad. So the good questions are, so what is your problem? How do you solve your problem now? Where does the money come from? How much are you paying for that problem now? Is it really a big problem? So if you keep talking like this, and then you get good answers so that you can build your product around it. So your marketing strategy or your customer acquisition strategy should be like this bowling pins, where you target a single segment and then you diversify your business into so many other segments. How do you build your product? You know your customers, you know the problem, you know what solution you need to build. This is the startup development cycle. So it's like, it's called build, measure and learn. Build, measure, learn. So you build a small product, small feature, you go to the users, make them use it, test it, get feedback, and then again learn from it, give with the feedback, build again, go with a better product, come back, get feedback, again learn. So this is a circular loop. Keep building, measuring, and learning. But build, measure, learn should not be like the top one. It has to be like the bottom one. So what are the main things when it comes to customers in a startup? It's called AARRR: acquisition, activation, retention, revenue, and referral. Acquisition: how do you acquire customers? How do you get them? What are the marketing channels? Do you use Facebook ads? Do you want to use Instagram ads? Do you want to do banners? Do you want to do hoardings? Do you want to do newspaper ads? So how do you get customers? So that is the first step in acquiring customers. And how do you make them use your product? That is called activation. They'll come to you, they'll hear about you, but how do you make them buy your product, buy your service? That is activation. Then retention. Once they start using your product, do you think they'll come back again? Or is it going to be just a one-time trial? So you should make your product in such a way that they should keep coming back and again and again and again. Revenue. How much do you think you will make from it? And referral. The most important thing is they have to refer your product to others, and that's when you know your product is successful. Business model. This is one of the fundamental things, while building a business model. Is it actually doable financially, technically, economically, in the market feasibility? You need to study all this. Do you think is it a loss making business, or is it going to be a profit making business? Always estimate your correct costs and revenues correctly. So because if it's failing on paper, it's going to fail even more badly in the market when it comes out, because there are so many unexpected costs and unexpected instances which will take away your money. You will never even imagine this will pull your money in the practical scenario. So at least on the paper it has to be profitable, otherwise it's not worth doing. Lean Canvas is a tool. It's a template which is used across the world. You can actually download this. I'll share you the link later. So if you have any business idea, any business from a coffee shop to Tata Consultancy Services, Infosys, Wipro, you can actually put it on this template and see అంటే ఒక పేపర్లోనే మీకు మొత్తం కనిపించేస్తుంది మీ ఎంటైర్ బిజినెస్ పిక్చర్. So you have customer segments, you have problem, you have solution, you have competition, channels, your cost, your revenue, what is your unique product. You have everything in just. So this is one canvas which is the starting point for your business. Once you think of an idea, you need to fill this up. And moving on to competition, never forget about your competition. Never forget about your competition, because anything that can be copied will be copied. Definitely, you're not the only person in this world. It will be copied. Anything you read is also read by everyone else. The knowledge is not unique to you and you alone. So you don't have a competitive edge, or you won't be special just because you're hardworking or you're passionate or you're lean. There are so many other millions of people who are equally or more hardworking and passionate and have the same idea. The only real competitive advantage, it's called a real competitive advantage only when you have something that cannot be copied, that cannot be bought. Think of such things like that. So why should we at all compare with competition? Why Ask your question. So first, identify all your competitors. Really understand what products and what features are they offering to their customers. Is your solution going to be exactly the same, or is it giving them something beyond what your competitors are actually offering? Identify gaps in the market. In terms of, it can be in terms of price. Your price might be low, or you might be giving them more features, you might be giving them better product quality, or you might be serving in a different market area where that product, your competition is not even there. So you should know why you have to compare with your competition. But how do you compare with your competition? You have three verticals which you need to compare. First is the value. Value is the product. What products are your competitors offering? What is your product offering beyond that? Where does your product stand? You need to look at that. And the business. So how big is their business? How many years have they been into the same business? how profitable are they, how much money they have put in, how much is their team, which areas are they operating in. So you need to know all this to actually find the gaps where you can plug in. Operations, so how do they manufacture, how do they procure their team, how do they procure the raw materials, all these things you need to look at. And then you find and then your analysis should be, you study them, you position yourself in those gaps where all your competitors are missing, and then you improve. Always try to build and be better than your competitors, otherwise it's just a matter of time that you will be pushed away from the market. All this is fundamental rule with competition. Competitors are also working as hard as you to win against you, so use their success to guide you. Coming to team, fundamentally, one is too small a number to achieve greatness. If you want to become great, if you want to have a big team, if you want to make your business really successful, you need a co-founder, you need a good team. uh, this is a military dialogue. So all the militaries in the world, they follow this dialogue, they follow this as their motto. There's a team and there's a plan. How do you execute that? You have an A team. A team is called, it's a first class team. There's a B plan. It's not so success. It's not so apt. It's not so perfect. So you want a successful team with a imperfect plan, or you want a imperfect team with a successful plan? What do you do? Every country in the world, they always choose a successful team with an imperfect plan, because that successful team will make the plan perfect no matter what. Even if you have a picture perfect and airtight plan, an imperfect team will ruin it. Definitely it will ruin it. So when you're hiring people, you entrepreneurs are always about, giving jobs to people. You don't take jobs, you provide jobs. So always remember, your staff will be spending at least 1/3 of their lifetime with you in your sharing your vision, working in your office. So make it worth their time financially and mentally. Provide them that culture, work environment, so that they would push you even if you're down. They would work more than you to reach your vision. So how do you find your team? How do you find those people who actually fit in? Or you already have people, but how do you evaluate them, that if they are the right persons for your team? There's a simple tool. You can use this website called 16personalities.com. So it's a questionnaire. Ask your team to fill in. You also fill into that, so you will know what you are as a person, and you can compare it with your team and see if they're actually good with you. It's a very good tool. It's a free tool. All of you can use it. It's a simple questionnaire. And coming to funding, the most important thing, money. At the end of the day, you do this for money. You become an entrepreneur for money. So how much do your idea requires to build? How much does your say, if you're building a product, you need a factory. If you're building a mobile app, you need a team, you need software developers, you need an office, you need computers. So estimate how much you need to build that business. That's the first primary rule, because without funding you can't move an inch. So what are the sources of funding available in India generally, India across the world? First, always go for this 3 Fs, that is friends, family, and fools, who are around you to support your idea. If your family and friends are not supporting you, then there's no point of you pursuing it most of the time. So you have to convince your vision to your friends, family, and fools. Get a small sum of money from them, kickstart it. And in India, you don't actually get bank loans for startups, because we are not an established business. Startups are always about finding new ventures. It's never like a restaurant or a coffee shop or any established business. So it's a new kind of business. Bankers they don't usually provide loans to such new business ventures. So the only option usually in India startup founders they pursue is they go for venture capitalist or angel investors. I'll explain a bit about these two. It might be sounding new to you guys. So Venture capitalists are basically a private bankers kind of thing. So what they do is they gather money from very rich bagar double novel they get money, they pool money, and then they invest in startups. They give out money to startups, seeing the team, seeing the idea, seeing how much progress the team has made, and then they put in money as investment for a share in their business. So you have an idea, you're building the product, you have 100 shares in your business. So you give them away 30 or 40% of your shares, and then you get money. They just give you money, but you are the one who actually runs the business. They come and monitor you. It's a very good venture capitalists. Venture capitalists are really good source of funding because that's they push you. You get a lot of network because of them. Angel investors are similar to venture capitalists, but these guys are individual guys. So individual, they don't give money to anybody, any big corporates. They invest themselves in the startups. So it's more or less it's similar. So you get money from these people, and then you build your product. Basic things you need, basic terminologies you need to know when it comes to funding. Valuation. How much is your business going to be valued? Say 10 lakhs, or your business is going to be 50 lakhs or 1 crore. How much? You need to estimate how much, and that's a big calculation. I don't want to get into the details right now, but these are basic terms. Whenever you see news, you keep coming across these things: valuation, equity, and debt. Equity is nothing but our own investment, or the venture capitalist investment in the company. Investment is equity. Debt is loan. Whatever money you're getting as a loan for interest, that is called debt. So these are three main terms you need to know when it comes to funding. So how do you get funding from venture capitalists? You need to impress them. You need to convince them that your idea is big. Your idea is going to be big. You're going to give them returns as they're investing in your business. They are businessmen. What they do is they expect returns from you. You have to run the business successfully, give them their returns, they're happy, or else they'll keep pushing you to do further. So how do you convince them? It's called pitching. So you pitch your idea to the investor. If they're convinced, they'll give you money. I'll just show you a small video of how pitching happens. It's funny video. It's just a 1-minute video. I'll show you.
Hi, Sharks. I'm Aaron Krause from Philadelphia, and I'm known as the daddy of the Scrub Daddy, the cutest but most high-tech scrubbing tool in the world. Today, I'm seeking a $100,000 investment in exchange for 10% equity in the Scrub Daddy business. It's the greatest kitchen scrubbing tool you ever used because Scrub Daddy completely changes its texture by just adjusting your water temperature. Let me show you how that works. Here I've got some hot water. Here I've got some cold water. When I immerse the Scrub Daddies in the hot and cold water, a complete transformation occurs. Now, to show you that, I've got 10-pound weights. Here, under the 10 pounds, it's soft and compressible, and that's like a sponge. That's for your general scrubbing applications. But here, check that out. It's hard and heavy-duty scrubbing applications. We burned on brownie gravy, tomato sauce, cheese, and mustard with glass top and a stainless steel pan. I'm going to take the Scrub Daddy, and you're going to see it's just going to attack right into that burned-on mess, scrubbing it right off. And remember, I'm just using water here. There's no chemicals at all, and it's going to cut right through that. It won't scratch any of your surfaces, but it will clean them beautifully. Now, Scrub Daddy is not really smiling anymore, so I'm going to put him here in the warm water, and in just a couple seconds, voila, he's back to bright, fresh, and clean every time. Sharks, that's not just another smiling face. You put it on your hand, you can get to the bottom and clean the sides in one move. And that smiling mouth, that cleans spoons, knives, forks, spatulas, even large serving spoons on both sides at the same time. Sharks, with your help, Scrub Daddy will be scrubbing and smiling in every kitchen in the world. Woo! Wow.
Wow.
So now you guys have seen, right? So that's how pitching happens. So they introduce their idea. They'll ask how much money they need. They'll tell them how much in share they're going to give in their business. And then they'll say, what is their vision? So he wants to introduce that sponge to the world. So that's going to be a big business. So he's asking for an initial investment to set up a factory and then build product. So this is how pitching happens. So they'll usually give you 5 minutes, and then they'll decide if you're worth it or no. So once you got your funding, and then the next stage is you are ready to launch successfully. So this is how startups usually happen. All these are the broad stages of a startup. But the final conclusion is entrepreneurship is a lonely job. It's not going to be easy at all. Every day there are challenges. Every day you have to push yourself. There is nobody who is going to come and wake you. Hey, it's Nick Panundi, you have a business up waiting for you. You have to go do it. There's nobody who is going to come and push you. You have to push yourself every day, or else there are people, there are money, there's so many other things depending on you which are going to fail. So if you're up for it, please become an entrepreneur, because you are going to provide so much value to the country. Thank you.
Yeah, shall we ask the students to interact if they have some queries or questions?
Sure.
Yeah, now it's time for the students, like those who would like to question. If you have some questions to ask, you can just show thumbs up, and I request Mr. Chiranjeevi to unmute a particular student step by step. Yeah, Satya Lakshmi is interested.
Namaste, ma'am.
Yeah, namaste. Only to ma'am. Only to ma'am. Yeah, huh?
Konbanwa, ma'am.
Konbanwa. That's okay. But I just want you have greeted only Komla ma'am. What about others?
Good evening, sir, and good evening, everyone who are here.
Yes.
Hi. Good evening.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would like to ask you 2 questions. The first one is, how do you define success, sir?
Me as a person, or generally, what do you want to know?
Like as professional and as a person, sir.
Oh, as a professional, our goal is to just give client the best service and the best possible outcome. So we just want to see a smile on the client's face, and we just want to give them service without any complications, and that's it. That's called success. When it comes to a businessman, it can be different for each individual. So my goal is I want to provide employment to at least 1,000 families in my district. So once I reach that goal, I think I call myself successful. But there can be monetary goals also. They might say I want to earn 100 crores. I want to like 1,000 crores. I want to be a billionaire. I want to do this. So that can also be a goal. It all depends. There's nothing wrong in having such goals. Definitely, at least for me.
Yes, sir. That's great, sir. And one more question. What are the most required skills in entrepreneurship, sir?
Guts. You need to have guts first. But I would suggest you need to excel in at least one of the aspects in running a business. So you either be good at management, you either be good at the technical stuff, you either be good at least one of those operations. You need to be good at, because you can't depend on people for every role. You need to be good at one role at least. So you decide if you want to be the technical. So usually there are two co-founders in any startup. One will be the technical co-founder, the other will be the management co-founder. So technical co-founder is a person who knows what the product is. They can do coding, or they know the chemical stuff, or whatever it is. So you decide. If you are a technical co-founder, always go for a management co-founder. If I am a management guy, I am not a technical guy, because I am a commerce accounts guy. So I always look for a technical co-founder who does coding for me, who knows software, because I don't know coding. So that's how it works. Yeah.
Yes. We have Lohita from MPC.
Good evening, ma'am.
Again,
Good evening, sir. I have one question. As a student, how did you convince your parents to choose this group?
My father is also a chartered accountant, so it was not a big trouble for me to become a chartered accountant firstly. But it was a tough choice anyways. But while coming to masters, it was very clear because I worked for 2 years and I always wanted to become a master, a MBA grad, and set up my own business. It was my vision from childhood. I have been telling them from since childhood I want to do this. So there was never a no. It was not a problem. You just had clarity. That's it. I never had two thoughts. I want to do this. I want to do that. And a question I just wanted to do this and a clarity only. So they never stopped me.
I have one more question, sir.
Yeah, please.
How do you encourage university students to choose social entrepreneurship as a career path after graduation?
Yeah, social entrepreneur. I've studied about social entrepreneurship while I was in London. I was really fascinated with the course. I've met one of a very good founder of social entrepreneurship venture also. The only rule for social entrepreneurs is always look for a profitable social venture, even if it's a social cause. It has to generate money because how good ever your heart is, how good ever your intentions are, at the end of the day, it's also a business. So if the business is going to be profitable, at least it has to be self-sustaining. It has to generate money for itself, though it can't though it won't exploit people for money. It has to generate money for itself and be sustainable. If a venture is sustainable like that, people are really interested to push you for creating social ventures.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, next. Who else is ready with a question? Oh, Tanmaya. We want some boys also to be ready. After Tanmaya, again, Maunika Chowdhury is ready. Yeah, good. Tanmaya.
Good evening, sir, and good evening, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What about the participants? You can say good evening, everyone.
Good
I only
evening,
madam
everyone.
answer. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Yeah, firstly, I would like to thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity, and I would like to thank sir for sharing us more knowledge about entrepreneurship. And I have two questions, sir. And the question
Yeah.
number one is: everybody come across with failure. As a student, how should I understand the failure?
Can you repeat the first question, please? Your voice broke. Sorry.
Everybody come across the failure. As a
Yes.
student, how should I understand the failure?
Failure. Oh, I failed my CA exams twice. So that was the first failure of my life. I've always, been this first ranker kid in the school, first ranker kid in the college, everywhere. But CA was such a tough course. I actually failed my CA twice. The first time I failed, I did not know what actually failure was. I could not see my paper, the result sheet that, okay, I failed. It was such a big blow after 23 years. For the first time I saw failure, but then it kicks in, and that's when I started, study harder. I had to evaluate where I lost, and then I studied harder, and the next time I actually got through.
The next question is, sir, what are the strengths I should acquire and what are the weaknesses I should overcome to become an entrepreneur?
Strengths. You need to have grip on at least one. I told you earlier, you need to have grip on one aspect of your business completely, at least. And you need to be really risk aggressive. You have to take risks. You can't play safe games when you're being an entrepreneur. You can never play safe games. If you're playing safe games, it's better you go for a job. If you are a person who is willing to take risks, and please then only become an entrepreneur. That's the weakness you should overcome also. Risk taking. People are very used to comfort zones, from their houses. You have your parents spoon feeding you everywhere and all that, but it has to come from within you, taking risks. You should be able to lose. That is your weakness. you know you will be able to, you will be losing on a lot in your life if you fail in this venture. There will be 100 million people pointing at you saying, we always knew you are a failure. You should be able to, you know, face that also. That's the weakness you have to overcome.
Yes. Yes, Tanmaya.
Namaste, sir. Namaste, ma'am.
Who is that?
Monica Chaudhary, ma'am.
Yeah, Monica, yes.
Ma'am, first of all, I thank you for giving this such an opportunity for us. And I thank you, sir, for giving more knowledge on entrepreneurship to us. I have a small question to share with you. What is the main use of entrepreneurship for a student?
Because we never had such initiatives when we were students, and I think if we had such knowledge and exposure when we were your age, I think we would have already achieved a lot. It's already a bit late for us and a feeling lo మేము ఉన్నాం అన్నమాట. For a student, I can maybe put it this way. You can start about thinking problems around you, and you know, small problems. It can start from your house. It can from your own bedroom, and it can come to your class. There may be so many problems in your house, on the way to the college, in the college, with your friends, with your teachers. So it's always about problem solving skills. So how do you find a solution to this problem? How do you solve it? So that's where entrepreneurship comes in. Start from within your house. Do things on your own, you know, and solve those problems.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Why only girls? Why not boys? Again, Shavya. Yes. Nikit wants to ask. Yeah, first, who would start? Nikit or yeah, Nikit. Let's give a chance to him. Then Shavya, you can.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
And hello, sir. And hello, everybody. I would ask you a question, sir. I am seeing so many people who has experienced loss in the business, sir, and how they should be rebuilt in the business, sir. Business from loss.
Yeah, there are a lot of reasons for facing those losses. One, it can be management problem. The other, it can be competition issues, or it can be wrong product at the wrong time in the wrong place. So it's all about finding what was the reason for it. In my knowledge as a professional, I have seen I'll be seeing clients on a daily basis. I have seen so many clients where they started out with so much passion and enthusiasm, but somehow a small bit of a success, they would have lost their way. They would have diverted those funds into more risky ventures. That's how they lost money. But it's always like there are specific reasons why people would make a loss, and you need to have proper management consultants, you know, from time to time, to advise you on what to do, what not to do. Because you get so lost into running the business on a day-to-day basis, you would lose the perspective of a third person. You always need a third person's perspective from time to time, you know, so that they come and give you, okay, there's something wrong going on here, we need to change this. Because without that, you won't be able to figure it out, because you're always deeply involved into that business.
Yeah, good. Now, Shavya, can you come out with your question? Shavya. No, Shavya. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Hello to everyone.
Are you unable to unmute, Shavya?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we have 3 minutes left. So
Ma'am?
Able to do it. Yeah, let's give a chance to somebody else. Yes, Shavya.
Yes, ma'am.
No, it's going on. Yeah, if it ends, you can all get connected back again. Yeah, Shavya, you can go on.
Good evening to everyone. My name is Shavya. First, I would like to thank you, sir, for sharing your information with us. And ma'am, thank you, correspondent ma'am, to giving us this opportunity. I would like to ask you a question. So, how does entrepreneurship supports a slogan, zero defect, zero effect?
Or zero defect management. I need to read about it. I've recently read about zero defect and zero effect. There's also an initiative by central government also. It's called ZDM, yeah, zero defect management. No, it's actually ZED, zero effect and zero defect. Yeah. Japan, there's a management technique in Japan where they follow this procedure to minimize those losses and minimize those defects into and give the perfect output every single time when they're manufacturing. It's mostly used for manufacturing businesses, not for the service industry though. The central government is also pushing out on so many incentives for those industries who are actually adopting these ZED practices. But like I told you in the start, in the Cafe Coffee Day example, why is Cafe Coffee Day having so many branches across? It's because of consistency. It's because of meticulous planning into the minutest details of how many sachets of sugar, how much milk should be poured, at what temperature the milk has to be poured exactly, for how long the milk has to be heated. All these, but to get those statistics, to get those metrics, you need to have practiced the techniques like so many times. So once you do this meticulous practice and then you get the consistency, I think you can really achieve this zero effect and zero defect practices.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, one more student can take a last chance before we close the session for today. Let any boy come out.
Good evening, everyone.
Boy, yeah, who is that? Who is speaking?
My name is K. Dedipya, ma'am.
Dedipya, from which class?
From 10th Ruby, ma'am.
Okay, from 10th Ruby.
Yes, ma'am.
Let us find whether Mr. Teja has joined.
Okay, ma'am.
Teja, are you there? Find out, no? Yes, have you? Can I just leave a message or? Huh? Not yet joined? Sure? Yes. Not yet? Keep checking. Hmm? No? Yeah, please rejoin Teja for a minute. joined.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, Vedant and Netra Niklesh, they are also ready to ask questions, ma'am. I don't know why they are not raising their hands.
Could you please speak again? I'm sorry, your words are not so audible, Mrs. Tulsi.
Vedant and Netra Niklesh are also there to ask questions.
Vedanta?
I don't know. Netra Niklesh from 10th class.
Netra Niklesh. Okay, we'll give them chances. Mr. Teja, would it not be a problem if they ask some more questions?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
If you're comfortable, we'll just allow them. Otherwise,
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay. Thank you for saying okay. Good. So Dedipya is ready now with a question. Yes, Dedipya. After Dedipya, Vedant can be ready with a question.
Good evening, sir. I have a question to ask you. As a student, I want to know how can you handle your responsibilities as an entrepreneur?
Student entrepreneur.
I think you should start from ideation stage. I'll share you my slides. So go back to the ideation. So think about what problems are there around you to solve. That's where you should start as a student. Don't think about the solution first. Always think about the problems. What are the problems? What are actually that should be solved to ease your pain, so that for which a solution can be found. So think of those problems. Maybe when you grow up, once you're done with your college, or you can seriously start thinking about solving those problems if there is no solution by then yet. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, Vedant. Can you question, please? Tulsi? You just check out once if Vedant is there.
Yeah.
You said you wanted him to ask a question. He was ready.
Yes, he's not there now, I guess.
Yeah, then no problem. No issue. Yeah? Anybody else? Yes?
Good evening, ma'am.
Who is that?
Ma'am, this is Deekshita from eFace, ma'am.
Okay, Deekshita. Yeah, come out. From eFace? Okay. Yes, Deekshita.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, all. This is Deekshita from 10th eFace. I have a question for you, sir. What do you look for an employee in entrepreneurship?
Sorry, I didn't understand. Your voice was not clear.
What do you look for? What do you look for in an employee?
Okay.
Okay. As an entrepreneur, what exactly do you look for in an employee?
They should know more than me. That's the first thing. They should know much more than me.
Which type of qualities?
Yeah, they should have more knowledge than me. I should not be the one who trains them. They should be the one who teaches me things. That's like the first thing I look for in somebody when I'm hiring someone.
Yes. Now, can I take a chance? All the students, with your permission, can I get ready to conclude the session?
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. May I know who is speaking?
This is Dr. Josna.
Oh, Dr. Josna. What a surprise it is. Yes. You're welcome, Dr. Josna. Do you have a question?
Not question.
I have one more question, sir.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello?
Josna. Yes.
Somebody is talking?
No, nobody.
No. Yeah. So just information, I want to give you.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'd like to congratulate and appreciate your efforts for arranging such a nice webinars.
Okay.
Let all the students.
Yeah.
And Teja.
Yes, Auntie.
So it's a wonderful talk, and so I would like to inform you that tomorrow I'm going to leave my job and going to start a new startup. So by listening,
it's time
so
people like you join.
yeah, I got inspired to start a small business or whatever. A really wonderful talk, and you just explained step by step what should we do and how to think and so where to go and what to do. So all
Thank
this
you.
you explained very nicely. So thank you so much, and thank
Thank you for
you.
listening. Thank you for staying in the session.
Yeah, yeah. From the beginning, I was here, and Komala, thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
Yeah,
And
tomorrow we will see you, madam. Tomorrow we will see
yeah,
you.
yeah, definitely,
At 10
definitely.
o'clock,
Yeah.
we have your session. We are really glad that you joined us today also.
You didn't know that? It's, from the
No, I
beginning, I was
didn't know
here.
that. It was a surprise for me when I heard Dr.
See,
Joshi.
I was raising my hand several times. I raised to like a student, but nobody answered my.
I'm sorry, like it was home. Like I never expected that home would
Okay,
be Dr.
okay.
Josna.
No, because I thought my name was there. That's why I was thinking why you were not allowing
I'm
me
very
to ask a
sorry. I'm
question.
sorry. It was
Okay,
not.
anyhow,
Sorry.
no, okay,
Yeah.
anyhow. I appreciate and I congratulate all the students for the patient listening. Very
Yeah.
enthusiastic students, enthusiastic and yeah, really wonderful.
Really
Yeah.
nice students.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
See you tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
See, like
Bye.
actually,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really glad to announce or state that we are the very first school in the entire state, Andhra Pradesh, which started, entrepreneurship cell in the school last year. So central government,
Oh, that's very
sanctioned
nice.
20 lakh rupees fund for starting Atal Tinkering Lab last before year. So once we launched our Atal Tinkering Lab in our school, immediately we thought of integrating the Tinkering Lab with entrepreneurship cell. So last year itself, almost 100 students actively participated as club members in the cell, and they generated money on every occasion, like, whenever we celebrated Rocky or a Friendship Day, food festival, like every opportunity and every event was made use of by the students to generate money. They generated more than in every event, they generated around 40,000, 50,000 rupees a day. They used to borrow money from the loan section. Like, we have some procedures like where students leaders collect fine from the students who come in ununiform, who use mother tongue in their English language classes. So that money would be with the class teachers. All that accumulated fund will be with one in charge, where students can go take loan,
Oh,
invest,
great.
invest, and then work on a product, sell it in the campus on a particular day of celebration like Independence Day or Rocky. They make flags and they make friendship bands, and then they generate money. They refund at they repay the loan amount. They invested profit amount for buying computers for entrepreneurship cell and a computer lab. So this is how we involved our students in generating money in the campus. Entire year, our students participated very actively in working in teams and developing their zeal, interest. So by looking at the active participation of the students, we thought we should continue with the activities, though they are not physically available in the campus now. In fact, yesterday our junior boys, intermediate boys, they worked on manufacturing a machine for cutting the grass. They found some speaker boxes lying in the lab. They said, "Madam, can we use these?" Just yesterday it happened. So then I said, why not? So those junior boys, with the help of our director operations, Mr. Chiranjeevi, they have continuously worked on that. They took some vacuum cleaner which was under repair. They just broke it open. They took the motor from it. They used speaker boxes which were lying in the dump yard. Then they started, yesterday, finally, evening, they just showed me the machine for chopping the grass. I told them we'll buy some rams or sheep so that we can start chopping the grass. We will do in the campus. So boys and girls are very, very actively involving in innovations, in creative activities, or in problem solving, developing problem solving skills. So we have been arranging the sessions also every month. Last week, I think how many days before we had an expert from cybersecurity, Abhishek, now very young entrepreneur, just 15-year-old. So now as a budding entrepreneur, Mr. Teja is with us. So some experienced, entrepreneurs, some young and budding, enthusiastic, dynamic entrepreneurs, those who are below 25, 30, like that. We have been bringing on floor to motivate and encourage and inspire the students to take entrepreneurship as a choice. Because as Mr. Teja has rightly pointed out, when he was indeed, talking about all the challenges and step-by-step, entrepreneurship as a process, I was just, identifying myself, all the challenges I faced. There were many times where I was demotivated when I resigned my job. In the year 2005, I believe, I was in a government job. I was working as a lecturer English, but so much of criticism I had to face, and so many challenges, so many sleepless nights, and many insults, and all these things. So I was just, when he was presenting lean canvas just before 1 month, I worked very hard to make that lean canvas for a new idea recently to present as a part of startup program in IIM Bangalore. So that's why it was very much refreshing my memory. I felt very happy, Mr. Teja, to listen to all your ideas step by step. But I was not very professional because I never studied entrepreneurship as a subject. I was completely illiterate about this subject, but somehow I don't know how I started doing. But in the process of doing and facing problems, and started learning. And recently, in the year 2017, I studied that as a subject. So I feel so happy that today's youngsters are so fortunate to have that association or exposure to this subject called entrepreneurship. And we feel more entrepreneurs to succeed and shine in the world, and in particular in nation. India as a country is encouraging everybody to come with startups, make in India, startup India, stand up India. So many programs are there, but we need literacy, because mindset has to be changed a lot, and we should be always ready to take the risks. And challenges will be there, and life will be very boring without a challenge. And we are not here to please everybody around, but to pursue our goals and dreams and enjoy life. So I am so happy, and on behalf of the entire team RK and the students, I love to extend my special thanks to you, Teja, for immediately accepting. I just called him very casually. I left a message, Mr. Uday Teja, could you please donate an hour to inspire and create awareness to our students, about entrepreneurship? Because the very first time when I met him in 2007, I saw some skills. All my students know very well, everybody present here, that I love the students who are deep and who are very studious about their own pursuing skills and knowledge. And so similarly, when I met him and when I interacted with him, I really found some skills. Definitely every individual is unique for that matter. But I am behind the students who are very studious, who are goal oriented, who are goal driven, and who have passion to achieve something. So similarly, I have got many youngsters around me. I am associated with hundreds of youngsters like Teja. So happy, some girls and boys who are running after chasing the dreams. So he said, yes, I am ready to donate an hour to inspire the students. So my special thanks to you, Teja. Thank you so much for
No, it's okay. It was
enlightening.
my
It's
pleasure
not
to
just for
talk.
the students. It was not just for the students, and especially when you were talking about losses. Yes, again, I was identifying myself. Yes, no problem. We will lose and we will gain. So this is a game where loss and gain will be there naturally. And it is a surprise that Dr. Josna joined us in advance. Actually, she has a session tomorrow, and very happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
would like to. I would like to invite you again for your concluding sentence. What is the final say you have for all of us, for our students and for all the participants?
Be the ones who give jobs, not take jobs.
Be the ones who give jobs, not take jobs.
Take jobs. Okay.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah. So Mrs. Josna is ready to resign a job tomorrow.
Yeah. So I'm ready to give the jobs. I'm preparing to give the job. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So one day I'll join with you.
Yeah, some
Whoever
girls
wants, you can take me.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
all
Some
entrepreneurs.
girls and some boys are
Yeah.
smiling and laughing. We have got very lovely kids. Thank you so much once again.
Okay.
Yes, my love
Okay.
to all of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Yes.